Well, to begin with the first part of the question, as far as dividing the country into those who support a sort of populist strain of Trumpist ideology and those who support more traditional forms of liberal democracy, I think certainly President Trump has excelled in transforming the Republican Party essentially in his own image. And this has now been over a decade of Trump dominating conservative politics in America. And now, of course, he's trying to do that with the country as a whole, or at least as much of the country as he can while being in power, while not only in the executive branch, but enjoying congressional dominance and as well as a friendly Supreme Court, more or less. So I think that the issue here is that when it comes to, and this is something that the other guest had spoken to quite clearly, is that there are these short-term impacts that will, I think, demonstrate for the administration the limits of populist ideology and control in the sense that, when you walk around America and you listen to people who support and went on to support President Donald Trump, one of their biggest grievances economically is the idea that so much of American labor and industry has been outsourced. So they long for the days of the 1950s and earlier, where there was a more powerful and centralized industrial base here in America. And this speaks, of course, very well to the Make America Great Again slogan. The problem is that in order to transform that, to bring back to those days, essentially, you would have to ask people to spend more because of how globalized the global economy has come, how integrated America has become in that, and how much American prosperity in many ways has relied on that. Maybe not in the sense of growing wages or in terms of American labor, but in the broader American economy and where it's anchored at right now. So democratically, this is the limits of that system because you can't run the country like a company in the sense where, the project that President Trump would like to see implemented is something that we would need to talk about in terms of 5 and 10-year plans, generational changes. Whereas President Trump, we assume, has just 4 years in power to implement them before he has to answer to voters who might see the higher prices and the economic growing pains that they face as a problem for them in wanting to support either Trump or someone else.